Right, here is our next piece of work. The other night we were looking at some of the questions about pre-softening and pre-pigmenting, and I didn't want you to get muddled up between the two. So let's just have a look at a worksheet we did well before Easter, where you had to state the differences between pre-softening and pre-pigmenting. So pre-softening, the question was, when would we pre-soften someone's hair? So we know that when we're colouring a client's hair that's white, it's going to probably be resistant, and we need to help the tint penetrate better through the layers of cuticle so they can be trapped in the cortex and we can get a really good colour result. So we want to lift those cuticle layers. So how we're going to do it, if you remember rightly, we get our liquid peroxide. We want liquid because otherwise, if we use a cream peroxide by mistake, when we blow dry it into the hair, it won't absorb and it will be sticky and stringy, and that'd be really hard if you were then going to tint the hair or try and weave some foils into it. It'd be really difficult for you. So we've got in the cupboard in dispensary, we've got a bottle of 10 volume liquid peroxide. So we put a little bit into a bowl, we use a brush and we apply it to the areas on the client's head where the white resistant hair is. So it needn't be all the way through the hairstyle. It could just be certain parts of her hair or his hair which actually has white areas that are resistant. So we paint on those parts only. We then get a hairdryer and we blow dry that straight into the hair so it's bone dry, and then we can go back into dispensary and mix up whichever tint we had planned to carry on with our colouring, whether it's a global colour or whether we're doing foil lowlights. So that's our pre-softening method. Now, our pre-pigmenting method, we know when we pre-pigment, we have got a method that we would choose when we're going to colour over hair that's been pre-lightened. So this could be a client, maybe has had a full head lightening bleach before, or they've got parts of their hair which have been highlighted or grown out balayage or ombre, and they're wanting to change their depth of hair. They're wanting to go darker. So we know our rule with L'Oreal that we're currently working with is that if our client is going between 1 to 3 shades darker than the colour that they've got currently on their hair, then we're going to do our colour match method. If the client is going to travel much further, becoming darker, more than 3 shades of what she currently is to what you want to take her, then we know we use our pre-colour method. So remember, the colour match one is more gentler. We're just going to look on our recipe chart and we're going to add between a 3 to 6 centimetre worm of the recommended tint that L'Oreal are telling us to use, and we add that to our target colour of where we're taking the client to when they're in the salon. So 3 centimetres is normally probably for about half a tube's worth of your target colour, but if you're going to squeeze out a whole tube of tint of the shade that the client wants to be, then your colour match worm would probably be then about 6 centimetres long, and you would mix that into the target tint with its own measurement of peroxide. If we're going to do something more drastic, so we're going to take the client more than 3 shades darker than their current lightened ends, or if it's a full head bleach, then we need to pre-colour it first. So we would use a pre-colour chart that's in your pack, and L'Oreal are recommending Dear Light for us to use, and we would apply the Dear Light of the particular shade that they're going to recommend with the Dear Light developer, and then we would apply it to the areas that are going to be pre-pigmented. We would allow a full development time. We would rinse the hair and dry it, and then go ahead with the rest of our target colour that we want to do. If we're doing low lights in the hair, then the method is very similar. We still mix up a baby amount of the pre-colour recipe that L'Oreal want us to have, but also we would mix up whichever other colours of low lighting we were going to do on the client. So we'd have probably more than 1 or 2 bowls on our trolley. We would then, after weaving out the pieces of hair to go into each foil, we would put a small amount of our pre-colour Dear Light onto those areas which are bleachy blonde or very pale, and we would then directly paint our tint over the top and then fold our foil up and carry on. So the difference is, if we're doing a global colour, The pre-colour Dear Light is applied all over. It's fully developed, rinsed and dried, and then we do our global target colour. If we're low lighting, then we put the pre-colour on as we go through each foil on the head, and then we're putting the tint directly over the pre-colour before folding up our foil. So what we're doing is we're colour filling and we're adding depth back into the hair. We're going to prevent colour fade, and also hopefully the result wouldn't be very patchy because we're putting the lost undercoat back into the hair. So whether we're colour matching or pre-colour, it's colour filling and basically replacing the lost undercoat that would have been removed when we were bleaching.